All right, let's just jump right in. Picture this. 1 minute you're minding your own business, the next, poof, you've tumbled through a wormhole and landed in ancient Egypt. Wild, right? But the real question, the one that really matters is, can you survive? We're about to find out.
So, where are you exactly? Well, you didn't just land in any old version of ancient Egypt. Nope, you've hit the jackpot. It's the New Kingdom, around 1500 BC. This is Egypt at its absolute peak. We're talking peak power, peak influence, the whole shebang. You've basically crashed the best party in history. So, the stage is set. Your new life, or, your very, very short death, starts right now.
And get this, believe it or not, you've already cleared your first hurdle. You can give yourself a little pat on the back. Why? Because you survived childhood. I'm not kidding. Back then, infant mortality was through the roof. We're talking somewhere between a 20 and a 50% chance of not making it past infancy. So the fact that you're even standing here as an adult, you're basically a walking miracle. Seriously.
All right, so you're here. You've survived being a baby. What's next? Well, you've got to figure out where you fit in. And let me tell you, in ancient Egypt, everyone has a place, and that place is pretty much set in stone. So let's take a look at the social ladder, shall we?
Okay, check out this social pyramid. It is super rigid. Right at the tippy top, you've got the pharaoh. He's not just a king, he's seen as a literal god. So yeah, whatever he says, that's the law. Just below him, you have his advisors and inner circle, the powerful elite. Then there's this small sliver of a middle class, skilled workers, people who could read and write. But then, look at the bottom. That giant section, that's the laboring class. And below them, slaves. So take a good look. Where do you think you land on this thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up. Statistically, there's about a 95% chance you're landing squarely in that massive lower class. I mean, think about it. You don't look like them, you definitely don't speak the language, you're not exactly blending in with the high and mighty. So, let's be generous and say you've somehow avoided becoming a slave. Great, now you need a job.
And that job, my friend, is what we call the grind. For almost everybody here, life boils down to three things: backbreaking work, the life-giving but also super dangerous Nile River, and, well, worms. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about the worms. So what kind of job are we talking about? Take a look at this. The economy was basically one giant thing: farming. Over 90% of people were farmers. So, congratulations. Your new career is toiling in the fields next to the Nile. Hope you like getting your hands dirty.
And hey, don't go looking for a paycheck. That's not a thing. The whole economy runs on bartering, which means you get paid in rations. So you're going to be working from sunrise to sunset for bread and beer. And listen, this isn't your craft IPA. We're talking thick, gritty beer, probably with a good bit of sand in it. Tasty.
Life on the farm isn't just hard work, it's dangerous. You've got poisonous snakes hiding in the reeds, you've got swarms of river rats. It's a whole thing. But the biggest event of the year is the Nile flood. It's actually a good thing for the soil, but when the water rises, all the farming stops. And what do you do then? Oh, you get drafted. Yep, you're now on the pharaoh's construction crew, hauling giant rocks for tombs and temples. Fun?
But as bad as snakes and giant construction projects sound, your single biggest threat is something you absolutely cannot live without: the water. The Nile is the source of all life here, but it's also filled with tiny, invisible things that can kill you.
So you're thinking, okay, I gotta stay clean, avoid getting sick. Good instinct. You decide to take a nice, refreshing dip in the Nile. The problem is, you're downstream from where everyone washes their clothes and dumps their, waste. Huge mistake. A nasty little parasitic flatworm burrows into your skin. And guess what? You've just won yourself a lovely case of schistosomiasis. That comes with a high fever and, let's just call it, aggressive, unstoppable diarrhea. Not great. Oh, and the fun doesn't stop with parasitic worms. No way. You've also got malaria everywhere, thanks to all the mosquitoes. And you've got the really big guns making the rounds too. Diseases like tuberculosis and smallpox. So the takeaway here is pretty simple. Just staying healthy is basically a full-time job in itself.
But then, one day, while you're hauling rocks or digging canals, something incredible happens. Someone important notices you. This isn't just another miserable, sweaty day. This is the moment your entire life is about to change.
Maybe it's the pharaoh himself, or more likely, one of his military recruiters. He's walking the line, inspecting the workers, and then his eyes land on you. He sees you're strong. All that farm work paid off. He notices you actually try to keep yourself clean, which is rare. Maybe he even heard the story about you fighting off those river rats. He doesn't see a laborer. He sees a soldier.
And just like that, boom, you're out of the mud. You've been plucked from the fields and promoted into the army. This is a huge deal. You've just jumped up a couple of rungs on that social ladder. We're talking better food, a whole lot more respect, and a chance at a life that isn't just farming from dawn till dusk. Look at you go. You're moving on up.
Of course, with a better job comes, well, a whole new set of dangers. Your new career is war. So let's get you geared up. It's time to learn about the weapons, the enemies, and the rules you'll need to follow if you want to survive. All right, new soldier, you've got some choices to make. For close quarters fighting, you can go with a spear and javelin, or the super cool khopesh sword. If you'd rather fight from a distance, which is probably smarter, you can become an archer. But you'd better choose carefully, because your life is literally going to depend on how well you use your weapon.
Let's zoom in on that sword for a second. The khopesh. It's this awesome, sickle-shaped sword that looks absolutely brutal. It's perfect for hooking shields and, hacking. The source we're looking at just calls them curved swords, which, okay, is technically true. But trust me, this thing was the iconic weapon of its day. The must-have accessory for any Egyptian soldier who wanted to be taken seriously.
So, who are you going to be fighting with these cool new toys? Your main opponent in this period is a mysterious enemy called the Sea Peoples. Seriously, historians still argue about who they were. All we know is they came from the sea, they were incredibly destructive, and they were raiding all over the place. The pharaoh is not pleased. And guess whose job it is to stop them? Yep, yours.
All right, let's put it all together. Here are your rules for survival. Rule number 1. Everything you learned as a peasant still applies. Stay clean, avoid that dirty water, or you'll die of disease before you ever see a battle. Rule 2. Master your weapon. Practice, practice, practice. Whether you're slashing or stabbing, you need to be an expert. Rule 3. On the battlefield, your number 1 job is not getting killed. Dodge first, attack second. And finally, Rule 4. Remember that the guy you're fighting, he's probably just like you, someone trying to survive. It's something to keep in mind.
So, you did it. You survived. You beat disease, you survived backbreaking labor, you even survived your first battle. You've climbed higher than you ever could have dreamed. But here's the thing about the new kingdom. It's an empire built on conquest. War isn't an event, it's a constant state of being. So the final question is, you've survived this long, sure, but in a world like this, for how much longer?